What's up guys, it's me Sir Ernest, and today we're going to solve problem 7.8 of Fowles and Cassiday 7th edition. The problem reads, show that the kinetic energy of a two-particle system is 1/2 m VCM squared plus 1/2 m VCM squared plus 1/2 mu naught mu V squared, where m is the sum of m1 and m2, v is the relative speed between m1 and m2, and mu is the reduced mass. Okay, so for a two-particle system, 1 mvcm squared which is equal to 1/2 m VCM dot VCM is equal to 1/2 m times m1 v1 plus m2 v2 over m. Okay, m1 plus m2, which is m, dot m1 v1 plus m2 v2 over m1 plus m2. Okay, so because m is equal to m1 plus m2, so we can cancel this. So this becomes 1 over 2 times we can only cancel with 1. Sorry about that, because this is a dot product. So this is m1 plus m2, which is equal to m. So this is 1 over 2m times, we distribute this dot product. So this is m1 squared times v1 dot v2 plus m2 squared times v1 dot v1. Okay, and then m2 squared times v2 dot v2 plus 2 m1 m2 times v1 dot v2, which gives us 1 over 2m times m1 squared v1 squared plus m2 squared v2 squared plus 2 m1 m2 v1 dot v2. Okay, the other hand, this one, the second term, 1/2 mu v squared, which is equal to 1/2 times the reduced mass is equal to m1 m2 over m1 plus m2. So this is m1 m2 over m1 plus m2 times v1 v dot v. Here, take note that this is your relative speed. So that means v is the relative speed between m1, v1, between particle 1 and particle 2. So this will now be equal to 1 over m1 m2 over m, or 1/2 m1 m2 over m, times V1 minus V2 dot with V1 minus V2. Okay, so simplifying this, we now have M1 M2 over 2M times V1 squared. So this V1 dot V1, that's V1 squared. And then plus V2 dot V2, so that's V2 squared. And then minus 2V1 dot V2. Okay, so adding these two together, that's 1/2 M VCM squared plus 1/2 mu V squared. That would be equal to 1 over 2M times M1 V1 squared plus M2 squared V2 squared plus M1 M2 V1 squared plus M1 M2 V2 squared. And then just using a little bit of algebra, we end up with 1/2 M1 V1 squared plus 1/2 M2 V2 squared, which is the total kinetic energy of this two-particle system. Okay, so it's just your task. So it will be your task or responsibility to do the algebra from this line to this line, which is very easy for you at your level. Okay, so that's it. That's your solution to problem 7.8 of Fowles and Cassiday 7th edition. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you learned something today, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.